Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a 6'6" offensive lineman that was among the best of the best in the American Conference playing for the South Florida Bulls the past couple of years. I'm talking about RJ Perry. What's going on, RJ?
What's up? What's up? What's up, my guy? What's up?
Hey, beyond happy to have you on. I've had a couple of your teammates on already this season, and man, that Bulls culture, the future is bright for South Florida. There is no doubt. Back-to-back bowl game wins for you guys over the past 2 years, looking to hopefully go a couple more in a row, hopefully make it to the national playoffs for South Florida. I mean, what you guys have been doing there is nothing short of incredible. And I want to talk about yourself, your career in a quick little segment that I like to call rewind and recap. Going to rewind the clock and tell fans exactly who you are and what you've done throughout the past couple of years. Started off at Tennessee the first couple of years in the SEC, made your way over to USF. In the past 4 straight years, you have been a part of bowl games, whether it's with Tennessee or USF. 2023 helped USF to a big time Boca Raton bowl game win over Syracuse, absolutely blew them out of the water. And then this past season, 2024 Hawaii Bowl, first bowl game ever to go into five overtimes, and you guys got that dub over San Jose State. And to cap off that, you got to be a selection for the College Gridiron Classic. I saw USF put that out, so congratulations to you on that. Absolutely incredible career that you've had during your college experience. And I know Tennessee, you were a part of some very good volunteer groups. I believe your last year there, you guys ended up being number six in the country at one point. Only two losses on the season, bowl game win, and you brought that culture that you had over there with you over to USF. How would you say that culture, that winning mentality that you had grown during your time with Tennessee helped translate to bring a whole lot of wins to USF?
It helped in many ways because, as you know, USF was like on the verge of trying to get back to how USF used to be, and I feel like once we came over, me and the coaches, some of more of the guys that was along with me, they instilled in my mind that like it's about the brotherhood and the culture inside the room. So uh, we felt like we had to do more as a team to build to where we wanted to be at, and it's still showing now. That I went up there this past weekend, and they doing like the team competitions, things like that. That helps build the camaraderie in the rooms through the locker room, and that help build brotherhood. So that means you can trust somebody on the field.
hmm Yeah, and obviously it translated onto the field, over the past couple of seasons, winning records both years, bowl game appearances and wins. And you yourself, your first year with USF after transferring in, obviously you're a newcomer to the program, a veteran guy. People know who you are and what you can do. But that second year with the program, obviously now you know a whole lot more of the system, the coaching staff. You know your teammates' names a lot more than you did the first year. How would you say your role changed this past year in 2024 compared to what was expected of you in 2023 when you were with the Bulls?
So in 2023, we already had those guys in the room. So like Donovan Jennings, Mike Lofton, people like that. Like I was just taking the whole of what they were saying, and I was just like putting in my mind, like, okay, my last year, I got to do what Donut was doing. And in 2024 season, I started doing like it's like a little cookout Wednesday. So every Wednesday, me and the O line we got together, and we either had a cookout or we going out to eat somewhere. It was mandatory that everybody was there, no matter if you had study hall or not. We gonna talk to the study hall people, see can you go early, just so you can be there because that helps build power in the room. Like it showed on game day. Like if you was there to see what was going on those Wednesdays, you would understand how close that room was.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard a lot from Tavin Ward and Mac Harris that who I've had on in the past already on the podcast. They talk very highly about the family culture at USF, and I can only imagine if you guys are doing those cookouts. I mean that's got to bring the O line real close, and you guys definitely impressed me this past season. Yourself and Mike Lofton. I know Mike Lofton. He's heading off to the NFL here as well, I believe. And you've been able to grow your game even more the past 2 seasons with the Bulls where you were able to take on a more prominent role on the offensive line as compared to when you were with Tennessee. What would you say are some of the skill sets that you've learned, some of the intangibles that you've grown in your game since joining the Bulls that have really stood out to you over the past couple of seasons?
I want to say I learned my body more. I learned how to use my body and how to be more agile when I move, things of that nature. Because if you notice how long I am, I could be able to play off that. So I use all the thing, all the talent and all the dance classes and all those things I used to do back in the day. I used that. I put it in my mind like I can dance with some of these guys. So if I can dance with you, I know I can play. So I used all that and I put it into one, and it just made me who I was this past season.
Oh yeah, I definitely saw how big you were when I was looking at your highlights, and I tell you what, man, I love looking at the highlights, obviously for the quarterbacks, receivers, stuff like that. But looking at what the offensive line can do, putting people in the dirt, you guys have some of the best highlights that I've seen, and I want to talk about some of yours in a little segment that I like to call "Make That Play." This segment going to show off a little bit of what you do so well for the offensive line this past season. I have my top three plays that I could find from YouTube, Twitter, and so on, right here in my notes. But obviously, you're the big man up front doing what you do best. What would you say was your top play from this past season?
Ah, I'm gonna say the Miami game with me and Francis when I had pulled around, I had caught him. I wanted to dump him so bad, but I couldn't get my hands on him how I wanted to. But I want to say that was like my highlight of the year.
Okay, yeah, that Miami game I know was a very big time game for you guys, obviously going against big ACC opponent, and that actually was not. I might have missed that, but that's not on my top three right here. But number one, I gotta go big time pancake block in that bowl game against San Jose State, where you just ended up grabbing the guy and you just laid him in the dirt. Number two, second level block against FAU, where you ended up pushing through to that linebacker level and ended up getting a great block to clear way for your running back to get another touchdown. And big time block against Bethune-Cookman, first game of the season. You guys blowing them out of the water. Ended up sliding on over to the right side, led up your running back perfectly into the end zone. Basically picked up that defender for Bethune-Cookman. And I had to include this one because there were a couple that were tied for number three. But I thought this was hilarious because not only did you land on the defender, but you also landed on your running back in the end zone. So that one I had to put at number three. And it's absolutely incredible. And you talked before about how the offensive line, you guys have gotten so close with the Cookout Wednesdays and stuff like that. And just over the past 2 years, what you have been able to do to help this program grow to where it is now, how would you say the culture is still growing for South Florida to where, they can be AAC champions hopefully here within the next year or so and hopefully be contenders to get into the college football playoffs?
I want to say Mac Harris is going to be the reason that they're going to make it into the ACC championship, to the AAC championship. Like his voice, he speaks loud to the whole unit, to the whole team. Like his character, his mindset, it makes everybody want to go harder. Mike
Mhm.
Lofton is going to be another reason. Byron Brown, Bryce, like all those guys are there. They're going to be a reason why they make it to the AAC championship. And I will be front row watching or on the sideline because like those guys, like they put in my mind that if you believe it, you can do it.
Yeah,
And
Mac
we always
Harris.
have a saying, it's called like be who you say you are, and they reminded everybody that every day, every meeting we had, like you see it on the walls. Everywhere you go, be who you say you are.
Yeah. Oh, Mac Harris, when I had him on, big time leader vibes from him. Just like I know you were a big time leader on that offensive line. And that's great that Lofton's going to be back for another year with the Bulls. I know he was a big time part of that O line. And Byron Brown, some people don't realize he got hurt after a few games. I believe it was the Miami game he got hurt, and he was that QB1. And credit to, I believe it was Bryce Archie. He stepped in and he did a great job holding down the fort. But you guys get Byron Brown back there at that QB. I know what he can do both running and throwing. That's going to be a scary sight for what was already a very good run dominated offense this past season. You guys ended up going 7-6 overall this past season, 4-4 in that tough American Conference action, but was one of the top running offenses in the conference, one of the top offenses in general, ranked fifth in total yards, fifth in rushing yards on the season in that conference. And you guys really went running back by committee. You had Kelly Joyner as well as a couple of other really talented running backs back there. And Byron Brown, what he was able to do with his legs at the start of the season, that added on to those numbers, of course. But offensive line is really key in that run game. Obviously, when they're passing the ball, you guys got to hold the pass. But if quarterback doesn't make the pass, that's not on you guys. You guys make one really good block. Running back's going for 50 something yards, hopefully. So,
Was
talk to me real quick about your guys' role in this run dominated offense this past season and why it was so effective.
it was based off our center. Like everything we went through, our center made the call. We go on to make the block. We put in our mind that every game we want to get 300 plus yards, and we try to do that every game, no matter who we play. Big time games, Bama, Miami, don't matter who it is. We trying to put up 300 yards rush. Then once we get 300, the next week we want five. It was going to keep going, and we put on our back like if we can do that every week, we gonna celebrate it every week. So every Wednesday we get celebrated for doing what we do, and we do it on our own. No matter who's cooking it, we'll cook some hot dogs, hamburgers. We knew we gonna have something. We knew we had something to do it for.
Yeah, and you guys as an offense as a whole, I mentioned, fifth in total yards, fifth in rushing yards. You guys averaged over 400 yards per game as an offense total, and rushing yards, you guys averaged 180 yards per game on the ground. And I mean, you guys, like I said before, you were a big part on this offensive line that helped clear the way for that running back group to where you guys were able to have that incredible offense. And you guys really needed that offense to stay strong in a five overtime win all the way over in Hawaii, going against San Jose State. And I mean, first ever game in bowl game history that went into five overtimes. And I thought that was crazy. About a couple days later, Pittsburgh and Toledo went into six overtimes. So they one upped you on that one. But
Oh yeah,
you guys ended up coming out on top with a 41-39 win over the San Jose State Trojans. Uh, Talk to me real quick about that bowl game because obviously going into five overtimes, I mean you're going to be exhausted by the end of that. You're giving it everything you got, every single play to try to come out with a trophy, and you guys managed to do it. So how would you say that you and the rest of the O line stayed strong to where you guys could help make these plays happen to get the win?
it's all thanks to Coach Gio. Coach Gio got us right. Like the endurance, the health, the science behind what we do is all thanks to Coach Gio and the rest of the strength staff. Like we had in our mind that once we got into those overtimes, we knew we came too far to lose. So we put in our mind like, okay, we got one more yard to get, one more yard to get. Let's get this touchdown. Let's get this defense to stop. And once you see that everybody is standing up on them bleachers on the sideline, you got everybody right here behind you. You got people from Florida or wherever come all the way to Hawaii to see us play. It means something. That Bulls Nation means something to us, and it showed that night. Five overtimes, that's cool, but how the way we prevailed and went through that game and kept going, and then give up to the last whistle. That's like that's that's the Bull Nation we are, and we don't give up.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised to see as many USF fans in the stands as I did. I was unfortunately broke, so I could not afford a plane ticket all the way over to Hawaii. But I did watch the game. Shout out to my guy Tavin Ward for the pick that he got. Tavin and I actually talked the day before that bowl game. He told me he has to make a tradition to get a pick in every bowl game. Made it happen. You guys helped get that win, and now you are getting ready to take your talents to the professional ranks, take your talents to the NFL level. Now, there's a lot of, obviously, as you well know, a lot of talented guys in the combine pro days throughout the country heading into the NFL. Obviously, you know the guys that, from your time in the SEC at Tennessee and some of those other big Power Five schools that people obviously are talking a whole lot about. But why should scouts be focusing on RJ Perry? What are some of the intangibles and skill sets that you bring to the table to where you can help lead an NFL team to a Super Bowl?
I can play any position you want me to play. I can play tight end. I can play left tackle. I can play left guard, center, guard, right tackle. Wherever you need me at, I'm willing to do whatever I have to be on the team, hear my name called, to be able to play. Because most people don't get this opportunity. and especially where I'm from, you don't get that opportunity. So once you get that opportunity, you grab it. You don't let nobody else take it. So I
Hey,
go in every day. Every day at work, I go in the mindset like I got to get 1% better than yesterday. I got to get 10% better than the guy that I'm going against. I got to get 20% better than the guy that's in my position that's trying to take my money off my table.
mhm.
I got to get 50% better than the guy that's already in the league that's got my money what I needed because I got a family to feed. So that's my mindset. Like I got to go every day. I got to go hard.
Hey, there you go, man. And I gotta say, I would love to see you at tight end. Just catch the ball and truck somebody. That would be really cool to see in the NFL.
You
So
know, I got some highlights from high school. I used to play. So just some people don't know. I was a receiver and a DN coming out of high school.
uh, I did
Yeah,
not know that. No,
yeah.
that's crazy.
I weighed about 220, 230. I played DN, tight end, receiver. I played quarterback one game for one play, and I was an All American hoop star.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so you got the athleticism for sure. So hopefully NFL teams are taking notice of that athleticism, putting you on their scouting reports and all that. And I know obviously you're high level talent. I've had a couple more high level talents from USF already on this podcast, and I'm always looking to find more high caliber guys like yourself to get on the podcast. And that's why I came up with this segment that I like to call "Who's Up Next." In this segment, you give me some names that I should look out for, reach out to have on the podcast this season, next season, and in future seasons. Two rules of this, though. First of which, whoever you recommend, got to help me get them on, got to help me reach out. And number two, you got to give me at least one name where they were not a teammate of yours this past season.
All right. So I gotta give you how many names?
You can give me however many names come to your mind.
All right. Uh, First I'm gonna go with 38 baby Sean Atkins. If you
Okay.
haven't got him on yet, we got to get him on. That's my guy right there. Uh, my guy Quindarius Robertson played at Alabama, number 34.
Okay.
Yeah, we do training together down here in Alabama. Let's see. James Burgess played at Alabama State.
Okay.
Great kid, great kid. He played cornerback, safety, wherever you need him at. Great guy, long, athletic. Mons Scarborough played at Alabama State as well, and Demarcus Cunningham that played at Alabama State. And one more guy, Levante Bentley. He played at Colorado, number
Okay.
10, the linebacker.
There you go. I like those names. And obviously they came real quick to your mind. So you know they're dogs. You know they can play.
Yeah.
So that right, I'm definitely gonna have to take a look at all of them. Sean Atkins, I'm definitely reaching out to. I loved what he did for the Bulls this past season. I mean, he was absolutely incredible. And now that we've talked about who's up next, we got to talk about what's next for yourself for RJ Perry. Obviously, you're getting ready to take that next step into the pros to, make sure that you get that money that you deserve for what you do so well. How are you really attacking this training, this off season to where you can hopefully hear your name called on draft night, get a pro contract, and go into your NFL rookie season the best version of yourself?
So right now I do 2 days. So I go in about 9 o'clock. I leave for my first session about 3. I get lunch while I'm there. About 3, so about from 4 to about 5, 5:30 ish. I watch a little bit of film. Then I go do my position work at 7. It's about 8:30, and I repeat every day, Monday through Saturday. And I go to church on Sunday.
Hey, there you go, man. That's how you get ready for the NFL level. So no doubt you're going to be in great shape when you make that transition, and I cannot wait to see what you do. And hopefully here soon I can get an RJ Perry autographed jersey here in my collection.
Oh
So
yeah, more stuff.
keep doing your thing, man. Beyond blessed to have you on. I've heard nothing but great things from, all the other USF guys that I've talked to about yourself, and it definitely shows. Because not only are you a great athlete, you are definitely a great person. You have a great personality that I love to have on this podcast, man. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this.
Thank you. Appreciate you all.